Welcome back to the channel. So it appears that the MacBook Air M2 rumours are true about a delay. A newer and cheaper MacBook Pro 14-inch instead will be launched in the second half of 2022 alongside an M2 MacBook Air. This is all because Apple allegedly want to extend their product cycle. Makes sense, right? The MacBook lineups aren't like phones. People buy phones every year or two. Laptops are a little bit different, even though the price of the iPhone 13 Pro Max matches a MacBook Air M1, depending on the variant you get, of course. As usual, there's always a source, a leaker, a tipster. In this case, it's a chap who's an Apple data analyst. This user reckons that both of these releases will be made during the second half of this year. Now, I was really looking forward to the MacBook Air M2 just to see what it would offer during the spring, so I guess I'll have to wait. Now, having a cheaper MacBook Pro that is 14 inches is actually a great idea. Now, the new lineup at the moment are just simply too expensive for the common person, unless you've saved up money, of course, and unless you have money already there and you consider yourself a common person, but you know what I mean. So this is a welcome change. I have thought about getting the MacBook Pro, but I don't think I qualify as a Pro user just yet, especially since the MacBook Air M1 has served all of my needs so well. Now, I've done many video reviews on it. I've done a long-term one. I've done a year later on this as well, and this is simply a fantastic laptop. The M1 chip matches an i7 to an i9, and I can feel it in the speed, and it's phenomenal. It doesn't heat up at all. The only gripe I would say, apart from the screen smashing issue, which is something I'll get onto after, is just the weight of it. I mean, it's simply quite heavy, and putting it on your lap's a bit scary, but it does not heat up at all. It's superb in that respect, and I absolutely love it. Now, obviously, apart from the screen smashing and cracking, hopefully the M2, they've done something about it. I mean, I've been okay with my one, but I'm just too scared to take it out and just be a bit rough with it. But I should be because of the price. I mean, it's quite tough. I mean, meant to be durable, at least the past ones in the past were. Gaming is the other thing. That's just rubbish, but then that's on you, Apple. And macOS, sort that out. Although the M2 chip will be newer, it's allegedly slower than the M1 Pro and Max chips, and only faster than the M1, which makes sense, right? It just gives Apple a chance to release an M2 Pro and an M2 Max chip as well. Now, in terms of design, the MacBook Pro 14 will be the same as the current lineup. The Air M2 is the only one changing. Big introduction is the MagSafe. At the moment, I've got USB-C. MagSafe is brilliant for those that don't know. Trip over the wire, it pulls out because it's attached by a magnet. It's always fun to connect as well. Play around with that when I was younger. The notch, this silly notch is going to come into the MacBook Air. At the moment, I love this. I know there's a feature even in the iPhones where you can, well, I don't know actually, I haven't tried it. I know it was in the 10 where you can just kind of just black out the bar just to make it seamless, but it's going to be annoying seeing that there. Unless you've got an OLED, it is going to stand out, to be honest. But obviously it means the camera's updated to 1080p. I'm not sure what the rumours are saying on Face ID. It doesn't look confirmed. And I don't think they'll have it, at least on the MacBook Air. But it makes sense. If you're going to have a massive notch, but you can't have Face ID as well. Still, nothing wrong with touch. I find touch a tad bit more reliable. Sometimes even with my iPhone, I popped it down, accidentally slid it, and it's open because my face has glanced towards the camera, which is a bit of a security risk, to be honest. Whereas a touch, you have to hold your finger on it and then it works. You use any other finger, it doesn't work. Saying that with my face, if I put a hat on, it doesn't work, so it's like I'm a different person. Anyway, going on to the cracking under the slightest of pressure, revisiting it again, I really hope something's sorted out with it. I don't know about Reddit users. I mean, you see it cracks. How many of them are doing something that they shouldn't be doing with their MacBook Air M1? Or is it a case where it's genuine? Or maybe they've got the lid shut, they've got it in a bag, and they've impacted that top part. I mean, you don't really know what people are doing, but there's a lawsuit going on, so it'll be interesting to see the results. I think they'll probably just extend the warranty or any repairs on it, which will be good for anyone with an M1. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe. The channel is growing. Appreciating the wonderful comments that I've been receiving. I just wish the Air 2 was coming out in spring so I could do a ton of videos on that, but as usual, I still love this. And until next time.